talking about.
I think so, Bob. Right. Here's something people may not know. Is your medicine cabinet filled with ticking time bombs? Studies show 70% of opioid dependence, overdoses, and deaths began with leftover drugs in the medicine cabinet. But today is National Clean Out Your Medicine Cabinet Day, so we're going to do just that. And you can do your part to get rid of those leftover and unused meds that can lead to misuse, addiction, poisoning, or even death. So pretty serious stuff here. Joining us with more is Dr. Matthew Knight. Dr. Knight, good morning.
Thanks for having me again.
It is always good to see you, and this is such a timely topic, not only because it is National Throw Out Your Old Meds Day, but also because so many of us, myself included, I will keep stuff forever and not really sure when to get rid of us.
Yeah, it's really dangerous. You know, up to 40% of medications that are prescribed stick around our houses forever.
Yeah.
Very few people clean out their medicine cabinet. Some things expire and they lose their efficacy, but some things like tetracycline can become toxic if we leave them in our home.
Really? Okay.
Creams that we keep on our countertop can come out of solution. The preservatives don't work anymore. They can become contaminated with bacteria that cause irritancy on our face and other rashes and infections.
Can I tell you something really quickly? And I know we have to keep moving, but something like this with creams, and I think our audience would probably agree, is something I would think would not expire.
Right, they do. Everything has preservatives in it that keeps it from going rotten on your shelf. And when that expires, say after a year after opening it, it can be contaminated with bacteria or fungus that you put on your face, and that's not a good thing to do.
Right.
So it's beyond just medication. So it's important to go through that cabinet and clean stuff out.
So we've gone through the cabinet. We say, okay, all this stuff is expired. What's the next step?
Well, it's hard to know when stuff is expired sometimes. So here's something I pulled out of my own medicine cabinet. You're supposed to look on the crimp here to see when it's expired.
Yeah,
can you tell?
Doctor.
You can barely read it.
I can't read it.
So the bottom line is if it's been opened, you need about a year after it's been, you can see it's been messed with here.
Yeah,
so somebody's touched this and put this on their face. So this could be contaminated. So after a year, it's time to go. And that's true for prescription medications too. After a year after you fill it, time to go.
Okay.
But if you have things laying around your house and you can't open them because they've got concrete on the lid, and you can't tell how long it's been, and even if the expiration date is still okay, it's probably time to get rid of it. Another thing people do is they keep their meds in their medicine cabinet next to their steamy shower, which is really humid, which makes things go bad sooner. So keep things in an airtight container and keep it away from kids and up top. And after you go and clean out your medicine cabinet, make sure you get staples replenished. Those are things like acetaminophen for fevers,
aspirin,
ibuprofen,
all kinds of stuff that we keep and use
Benadryl for allergies, right? You need to keep these around your house. So if you go cleaning everything out, make sure to replenish your staples.
We've got just about a minute left, but I think this is probably one of the more important parts of this, because let's say we've got this stuff, we know it's expired, we want to get rid of it. How do we get rid of it?
So in the old days, they'd say just flush it down the toilet, right?
Okay.
Well, we know now that's not a good idea. There was a U.S. Geological Survey that showed like 80% of medications appear in our waterways and our public drinking water, especially things like antibiotics, antidepressants, hormones. So we don't want to be throwing things down the toilet anymore. Although there is a list, the FDA maintains a list of things you can flush, and those are things that might be harmful to pets or people, that mostly opioids and pain medications. But for the most part, we want to take medications that are expired. We can try to take them back to our pharmacist and say, can you get rid of this for me? The DEA, or Drug Enforcement Administration in our country, maintains a take-back program, so you can type that into your internet browser and you can see when you can get these medications taken back in your local community, which is easy. And if you can't do that, then you make a baggie filled with something that looks unappealing.
What is this?
This is dirt from my front yard.
Okay.
All right, so you can use kitty litter or coffee grounds that you've just used and put them in a bag and open it up, and this is an expired medication from my house, and you take the medication and you put it in here like that so it looks really unappealing, and you close it up and you put it in your regular trash. It's not as good as taking it to the DEA drop-off site, but it's okay as a third best. And the other thing you want to make sure you do, this label's got all kinds of protected health information, your information on it. So make sure you take it off.
There's no question.
And shred it. You don't want anybody to have access to this.
I do that all the time. I got to tell you, this has been such great information, and now you've got me with a weekend plan, which is clean out my medicine cabinet.
It should be quick, but it's time to do it. National Clean Out Your Medicine Cabinet Day.
All right. Thank you so much for this great information.
Weekend.
We appreciate you, as always.